disabled millionaire was ignored on a wedding day until the maid's daughter gesture changed everything. A millionaire in a blue suit arrives at an elegant wedding, but no one sees him. 6 women in evening gowns walk past like he's invisible, until a maid's 4-year-old daughter in a red dress runs toward him shouting, "Blue suit prince!" What happens next will restore your faith in humanity. Before we dive in, let us know in the comments, what time is it and where are you watching from? Let's start. The grand ballroom sparkled with crystal chandeliers and golden decorations. It was the wedding reception of the year. Everyone who was anyone had been invited, except it seemed the man in the wheelchair wanted to be acknowledged. Marcus Hayes, a 38-year-old millionaire in a sharp blue suit, sat near the entrance in his black wheelchair. His brown hair was perfectly styled. His blue tie matched his suit exactly. But none of that seemed to matter to the 6 elegantly dressed women who swept past him without a glance. A woman in a teal gown nearly knocked into his wheelchair. She didn't apologize, just adjusted her dress and kept walking. "Excuse me," Marcus said politely. "Could someone tell me where—" The woman in the red dress cut him off without even turning around. "Staff entrance is in the back." Marcus's jaw tightened. "I'm not staff. I'm a guest." "Marcus Hayes? I was invited by—" "Sure you were," another woman in navy blue muttered to her friend, loud enough for him to hear. They both giggled. Marcus felt the familiar sting, the dismissal, the assumption that because he was in a wheelchair, he couldn't possibly belong at an event like this. He rolled himself further into the ballroom, trying to maintain his dignity. The opulent room, with its cream-colored walls, elegant drapes, and warm candlelight, suddenly felt cold. From the back hallway, someone was watching. Elise Thompson, a 29-year-old black woman in a traditional maid's uniform, blue dress, crisp white apron, stood frozen near the service entrance. Her hand covered her mouth in shock. She had just witnessed everything. Elise had been working at this venue for 3 years. She'd served at dozens of weddings, always invisible to the guests, but she'd never seen someone treated with such casual cruelty. And she recognized him. Marcus Hayes, the tech entrepreneur who donated millions to disability advocacy programs. The same man who'd funded the new accessible playground in her neighborhood. Her 4-year-old daughter Maya had played there just last week. "Mama?" A small voice came from behind her. Elise turned to see Maya peeking out from the staff room, her red dress bright as a poppy. The little girl had curly hair pulled into 2 puffs, and her red shoes had been polished to a shine. "Baby, I told you to stay in the—" "Who's that sad man, Mama?" Elise looked back at Marcus, who sat alone near a column, his head slightly bowed. Even from here, she could see the defeat in his posture. That's someone who deserves better, sweetheart." Maya tilted her head, studying Marcus with the pure, unfiltered perception of a child. "He looks nice. He has a pretty blue suit like the sky. He is nice. Very nice. Then why is he alone?" Elise didn't have a good answer for that. Before she could stop her, Maya slipped past her mother's legs and started walking toward the ballroom. "Maya, Maya, come back here." But the little girl was already halfway across the polished floor, her red dress swishing, her shoes clicking softly. Marcus sat there, debating whether to just leave. He'd come to support a colleague getting married, but clearly his presence wasn't wanted. The stares, The whispers, the way people's eyes slid right past him, he'd dealt with it his whole life. But it never got easier. He was reaching for his wheels to turn around when he heard it. The sound of small footsteps running toward him. He looked up. A little black girl in a brilliant red dress was barreling toward him, arms outstretched, a face lit up with the purest joy he'd seen all evening. "Blue suit man!" Maya shouted with absolute delight. The entire ballroom went silent. The 6 women in their evening gowns stopped mid-conversation. The musicians paused. Even the clinking of champagne glasses ceased. Everyone stared as this tiny child in red ran straight to the man in the wheelchair they'd all been ignoring. Marcus's eyes widened. Hello?" Maya skidded to a stop right in front of him, breathing hard, her smile enormous. "Hi, you have the prettiest blue suit. It's like the sky. Are you a prince?" Marcus stared at the little girl, completely caught off guard. In a room full of people who'd looked through him like he was invisible, this child saw him, really saw him. "Am I, prince?" He couldn't help but smile. "No, I'm just Marcus. What's your name?" "I'm Maya." She did a little twirl in her red dress. "I'm 4." She held up 4 fingers proudly. "Do you like my dress? Mama says red is for brave girls." "It's beautiful. You look very brave." "Why are you sitting in that chair?" Maya asked with pure curiosity, no judgment. Before Marcus could answer, Elise rushed over mortified. "Maya Thompson, you get back here right now." She grabbed her daughter's hand, then looked at Marcus apologetically. Her white headpiece was slightly askew from rushing. "Sir, I am so sorry. She got away from me. I didn't mean for her to bother." "She's not bothering me," Marcus said quickly, his voice warm. "She's the first person who's actually spoken to me like a human being all evening." Elise's eyes widened. I know who you are. You're Marcus Hayes, the Marcus Hayes." "Guilty." "You built the playground in Riverside Park. My Maya plays there every week." Elise's voice cracked slightly. "You made the swings accessible for wheelchairs, the ramps, the sensory garden. Mr. Hayes, you changed our whole neighborhood." Marcus shifted uncomfortably, not used to genuine gratitude. "I just wanted kids of all abilities to play together, that's all." "That's everything," Elise insisted. Maya tugged her mother's apron. "Mama, why is the blue suit prince alone? Where are his friends?" The question hung in the air. One of the 6 women in evening gowns, the one in teal, cleared her throat awkwardly. We thought... "You thought I was staff," Marcus finished calmly, "or that I didn't belong here." The woman in the navy dress stepped forward, shame coloring her cheeks. "Mr. Hayes, we had no idea." "Would it have mattered if I wasn't Marcus Hayes?" he asked quietly. "Would it have mattered if I was just a person in a wheelchair trying to attend a wedding?" Silence. Maya broke it. "Mama says everyone deserves kindness, even if they're different, especially if they're different." She looked up at Marcus seriously. "I think you're wonderful. Want to be friends?" She stuck out her tiny hand. Marcus looked at that small hand, so freely offered, so innocent, so full of acceptance, and felt something break open in his chest. He took her hand gently. "I would love to be friends, Maya." "Yay!" Maya threw her arms around his neck in an impulsive hug. The maid, Elise, gasped, but Marcus was already hugging the little girl back, his eyes suddenly wet. When was the last time someone had hugged him without hesitation? Without that momentary pause, that flicker of uncertainty about how to approach someone in a wheelchair? Maya pulled back and grabbed his hand. "Come on! You can't sit here alone. That's sad. You should come dance with everyone." "Maya, sweetie, Mr. Hayes might not—" Elise started. "I'd love to," Marcus said, his voice thick with emotion. "If that's okay." Maya pumped her fist in the air. "Yes!" As Marcus rolled forward with Maya skipping beside him, something remarkable happened. The woman in the red dress stepped forward. "Mr. Hayes, I'm Jennifer. I'm sorry. Would you like to sit at our table?" The woman in green added, "I read about your work with adaptive technology. I'd love to hear more about it." One by one, the 6 women who'd ignored him, who'd looked right through him, began to see him. But Marcus noticed something else, too. The other guests were watching. The couple in the corner, the group by the bar, the elderly woman near the cake table. They'd all witnessed a 4-year-old in a red dress do what none of them had done. Simply treat him like a person worthy of friendship. Elise watched from the side, her hand over her heart, tears streaming down her face. Her daughter, her brave, beautiful daughter, in her red dress and shiny shoes, had changed the entire atmosphere of the room with nothing but pure, innocent kindness. Marcus turned to Elise. "Your daughter is remarkable. She learned it from watching people like you, Mr. Hayes. People who build playgrounds so every child feels included." "No," Marcus said softly, watching Maya twirl in a circle, her red dress spinning. "She's teaching me. Sometimes it takes a child to remind us what really matters." Maya ran back and grabbed his hand again. "Come on, Blue Suit Prince, the music is starting." As Marcus let himself be pulled onto the dance floor, his wheelchair surrounded by new friends, by people who finally saw him, he caught Elise's eye and mouthed 2 words. "Thank you." Elise smiled through her tears and mouthed back, "No, thank you." But the true transformation came in what happened next. The bride herself, a woman in a flowing white gown, had been watching from across the room. She approached slowly, her eyes red. "Marcus," she said quietly, "I'm ashamed. This is my wedding, and I saw how my guests treated you. I said nothing. I did nothing." Marcus looked up at her. "Catherine?" "No." She knelt down beside his wheelchair, her dress pooling around her. "Maya is 4 years old, and she has more courage than every adult in this room combined, including me." She turned to face her guests, her voice carrying across the ballroom. "Everyone, please listen. This man, Marcus Hayes, was invited here because he's important to my husband and me. But more than that, he's a human being who deserved basic respect from the moment he arrived. We failed him." The room was dead silent. "Maya didn't fail him. A 4-year-old child showed us what we should have done. She saw someone alone and made him feel welcome. No hesitation, no judgment. Just pure kindness." Catherine's voice broke. "That's the kind of love I promised to honor today, and I nearly forgot what it looks like." She extended her hand to Marcus. "Would you do me the honor of the next dance? I'd like to start this marriage by remembering what really matters." Marcus's throat tightened. He took her hand. As they moved to the floor, Catherine walking beside his wheelchair, Maya skipping ahead in her red dress, the band began to play. And in that moment, every person in that ballroom learned what true dignity looks like. It looks like a 4-year-old with curly hair and red shoes reaching out her hand and saying, "Want to be friends?"